through this world, paranoid, trying to fill a void.
I'm the man on my own now. Hey!
Made so many mistakes I couldn't escape. I faced my fate. I'm the man on my own now. All the lessons that I learned, I gotta return it. Really earned it. I'm the man on my own now. Hey! Through this world, paranoid, trying to fill a void. I'm the man on my own now. I gotta return it, really earned it. I'm a man. God.
Yeah, gotta. Hey. Gotta. Hey, you guys. Welcome to the Queenie Galore show. Of course, I'm your girl, Queenie. And I have a very, very special guest with me, Young Deez.
Deez. Pope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Hey.
What's up?
So, Young Deez, tell everybody what we were currently just listening to.
A gutter mind state. You know what I mean? A gutter mind state. You know, my life, what I think on, a gutter mind state. Out everywhere.
Everywhere. On every platform.
Everywhere.
All right, Young Deez, tell everybody where you from.
I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey.
Charlotte. Yeah, big Charlotte. Big
NC,
Charlotte.
we out here. A lot of talent out here.
A whole lot.
All right, so Young Deez, so, you know, of course, I've gotten a chance to listen to your album, which is an amazing body of work.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. But before we get into that, let everybody know, you know, where you come from, you know, how did you start rapping?
Well, I think when I was a kid, so my mom, she took me to church. You know what I'm saying? So she took me to church. So I was always amused by drums.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So playing drums, I was always amused by it. So I always used to try to get to the front row to see the drums. And, you know, I eventually started beating, you know, like in school. I used to rock my school. I used to beat on the bleachers. Like, they had Busta Rhymes. We played Busta, and, you know, we had pet rallies, a basketball game. I'm talking about the whole school turn up. You know, so I fell in love with it because I was like, hey, yeah, like, boy, we got something going on. Like, we got something very special. So I loved it. You know what I mean?
So drums is what started you from rapping? Or is that what started you from liking music?
I think it started me from a like of music.
Okay.
You know I like of music. A love for music gave me a love.
Yeah.
Then my stepdad, he used to let me listen to Dougie Fresh. You know
Oh,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like, so it was like, and I fell in love with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So when did you realize that rapping was something that you wanted to take serious?
I think when I went to jail. So I had went to jail when I was 16 years old. And like I was facing some serious charges.
Yeah.
And I went to jail. And even though I was rocking the middle school, so I went to jail and like I started beating on the door. We used to have rec time at jail. And I started beating on the door in jail. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, and criminals, guys, young guys, they was like, we turn up on y'all. So I'm like, man, when I get back to the streets, I'm going to the studio. I'm gonna record me something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I made a song, Wonderwood Brothers.
Okay.
I made a record called Wonderwood Brothers.
Oh, that's crazy. You remember your first song.
And I sent it to my neighborhood, and my whole neighborhood just turned up off this shit. And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
you know
that's when you realized.
Yeah, and I still didn't really take it serious because I was still in the streets.
Yeah.
You know, I still want to, crime, get how I do what other guys do. But I was like, we got something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we got something.
Okay.
All
right. So, how were you able to focus on being, this artist to be able to get out of the streets? Because I know that is very hard to do. And to focus on one thing to focus on the passion that you want to pursue, but you got other shit happening in the streets. How were you able to get out of the streets to focus on music?
Well, I think the sentences, you know what I mean? I lost a lot of partners. I lost, a lot of my partners, like guys I love dearly, like they died. And sometimes I'm like, God, why not me? Even when the crime we was committing, I was like, why not me? Like, why didn't you, you know, why didn't you get this life sentence? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
why did I go to prison forever? You know, even with the crimes I committed, you know, why ain't I in the streets? So it always, you know, when I made it back from a situation, I got locked up in South Carolina. And once I made it back from that situation, I was like these guys got 50 years for the same crimes I committed in North Carolina. Like, you know, they gave me a 7-year sentence. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, God, you allowed me to make it back from this, you know, appeal, you know, appeals to the federal, you know, feds want to pick this up. And I was able to make it back. Like, no telling on a nigga. You know,
Right.
It was just a clean, and I made it back. So I was just like, you gave me another opportunity. Like, these guys got life sentences in here, like young. The same crimes I committed.
Yeah.
But you spared my life, so I knew it was a purpose. I knew it was a plan.
Definitely a purpose.
Yeah.
Definitely a purpose. That's amazing. That is amazing. All right, so who are your influential rappers that you grew up listening to?
Well, growing up, I listened to like Tupac, you know, Biggie, Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know, then you had the Jeezy,
Yeah.
T.I. first, you know. Then, you know, Gotti, you know, Cash Money, Hot Boy.
Yeah.
No Limit. You know, Soulja Slim.
Oh, okay, Soulja Slim. Yeah.
Soulja got me in a lot of trouble. Pastor Troy.
Yeah, oh, Pastor Troy. That's a good one.
Yeah, PT got me in a lot of trouble too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was out there breaking the law. We broke the law. Troy.
PT. What about Trick Daddy? Do you listen to
Trick Daddy? Yeah, Trick Daddy. Yeah, Trick Daddy too. Yeah, Trick Daddy. Yeah, we had Trick. Yeah, Trick was hard too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trick definitely.
Yeah. So let's get into the music. You just came out with an album called A Gutter Mind State, which I must say is a great body of work. You did your thing on that one.
I appreciate it.
You really did, for real. Like,
it was therapy.
Yeah, it is therapy.
For me.
Yeah.
It was therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, listening to each song on the album, you can tell, like, you know, the things that you went through.
Yeah.
It was like a story. You were a good storyteller.
You think so?
Yeah, you're a great storyteller. Yeah,
it's real though.
it is real.
It's not a lie. It's real.
So I want to know, what was your thought process of creating that album, and what made you come up with the name of that album? Because that's a really good album, a good title for the album.
Well, I mean, you know, like, even so, I made it from a situation like a life sentence of prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, I escaped death early. Like I said, when I lost partners, and so I had went legit. Like, I started working. You know what I'm saying? Like, but even in working, I was like, I'm struggling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even, you know what I mean? Like, I'm living paycheck to paycheck now, because I remember having so much of this money. I could do what I want to do sometimes. You know.
Yeah.
And so, even though I got serious, it was still like a struggle. You know what I'm saying? It was still a struggle. And sometimes I was like, I want to go get me a ball of dope, sell dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever, or sell dope again.
Yeah.
But I knew, like, if you play with this chance, like, man, you gone fail.
Yeah.
Because I just left a penitentiary system where these guys got a life sentence. Like I said, the crimes I committed, but they're there forever.
Yeah.
So I knew that.
A second slate.
Yeah, I can't go back in. I can't go out to the streets and create this again. I gotta stay down. I gotta trust my process. You know, faith. I gotta trust everything that I'm gonna do. I gotta trust God.
Yeah.
I gotta trust the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like, I can't. No, like, it don't matter how I gotta struggle, but I still gotta go to mind state.
Yeah.
So my mind still think on this stuff, you know, but I can't act on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's dope. That kind of remind me of Jay-Z, 50 Cent. Like, they turned their street, whatever they had street, they turned it into like a business venture, but they still thought street of it, like the process of it. Yeah.
The fact of
Yeah. Yeah.
They turned it into what they created.
Yeah. So I got a few favorite songs, maybe more than 3, that I like on the album. Of course, Of course, I love the intro. That's the song we currently was just listening to, and Work. Work is that type of song you gotta play as soon as you get up.
Yeah.
Like that's like that anthem. Like let me go ahead and get up and do what I gotta do. I like One Day.
One Day,
yeah. I do. I like One Day. I like Pressure.
You know the shit that you've been going through.
Yeah. I know. Now that for me was really dope.
And you know, like I sent the record to my brother, but I dropped the hook and I sent it to my brother, Buddy Cool.
Yes. He's great too.
Yeah, he also.
You had a lot of good features on there.
My brother. Yeah, everybody that got on there, stood on it. Some people missed the feature, but everybody got on there, they stood on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was my therapy, so I put, I think everything, because it took me like a year to bring it out.
I was going to ask you how long did it take for this project to come out? Okay. So a year.
Yeah, it took a year. But I said in that record, I know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when I dropped the hook, like, Jules was like, he played the beat, I'm like, because I cope with young niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I cope with you, a young girl. It don't matter who you are. Like, I'm you. I understand what you're going through. I understand what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm you. Like, I've been at every place. I've been at the bottom. I've been on some fuck nigga shit. I've been on some real shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I always stood on real principles. So, I know what you want to do. Whatever. Like, when you going through, when you struggling with your mind, think like, oh, them ain't my partner. They sneak this on me. I want to hurt them.
Yeah.
So it always took me. It took me back to that place to let them know, like, man, I'm you. You know what I'm saying? I'm you. I know. I don't care what I ever get in my life. Like whatever I get, I always want to be able to relate to a bottom person. Like,
yeah, that's important.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to a homeless person. Like if I talk to Jay-Z or if I'm in the studio with T.I., whoever you with. I'm gonna treat the homeless person the same way because I don't care what you got, what you going through. I love you, like whatever, you know what I mean? A bottom person.
So we need people like you in our communities, especially you come from the streets, you come from the hood, you come from the bottom, and it's just a blessing and amazing to see you grow to become the man that you are today. So, speaking of being a humanitarian, what do you do for your community?
Well, I always like to give it back. You know what I'm saying? I always give it back. Whether if I tell you something, whether it's money, feeding, cookouts, whatever I do, I always just want to give it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you get it for free, but a lot of people, they want to see you, sell dope or show a whole lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, do stuff like that. But I always just like to, I always just give it back because I always tell the person, like, ain't about me today. It's about the plan. It's about the purpose. So I give it back. Like, I love you more than you love yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, so
that's dope.
I always just give it back to them.
That's excellent. So, are there any upcoming music coming out? Because I'm really looking forward to more music from you.
I got some remixes in the work. I got some stuff in the work, you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
But, like this is, I think a good amount of some of my last projects, because I got a lot of young guys that I'm going to go and invest in my hood. Like, you got to Bomb It Out Too Much, Hundun.
Okay. Are these the artists?
They artists. They out of my neighborhood, but I want to be able to, give it back to them because. And they cut like that, Fame Miles, you got a Fame Miles, Scooter, Scooter the Prince, Band Getter. He calls himself Band Getter.
I like Band Getter. I like that name.
Yeah, DYT. But I mean, I got a few more words to say, you know what I mean. But now we're gonna get a bag of money, you know what I mean.
Yes.
We're gonna be able to give it. I'm gonna put it to them, you know what I'm saying.
That's.
And I think they're gonna. I know they're gonna flourish if they stay down. God keep them, active. But they're gonna stay, and they dope artists.
That's
like,
good.
Chris Marquise, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you got a lot come from over there.
That's awesome. Oh, another song that I did forget to mention, "Only Problem."
Yeah.
Now that one.
That was therapy.
That one I can tell was therapy for you.
Yeah.
So let everyone know, what kind of mindset were you in when you created that track?
I was coming from a place where, like, So I ain't know my daddy. Like my real dad, I didn't know him, you know, but my mom told me stories like of his drinking, you know, like shit that fell in my bloodline. So like it followed my bloodline, you know, I was drinking, turning up, you know.
The
and I was
genes.
just like, so it's in the DNA.
DNA.
So I was just on some stuff like, I want to be able to be delivered from this, but I was still turning up too, like, you know, drinking, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, you know, I had a thing for the streets. You know, I was in a relationship, but I had a thing for the street. Like, sometimes she's like, why do you just drink so much? But when I met you, I was drinking, and then I had to look at myself. I was like, man, you going to all these places, you drinking, you know, and this stuff can block my blessings, but like, that was my problem. Like, you know what I mean? When I looked at it, I had got pulled over one night. I had a deep, like the police, but they ain't take me to jail.
That was God.
That was a plan, and I was going to get my CDLs, and I was turned. Like, my partner was going to turn himself into the federal penitentiary, and my brother, we was all over there. Like, it was all us over there in the hood, and I drink, and they pulled me over. Like, and it was 2 police cars. They were like, why did you keep driving, sir? I'm like, man, you know, I was nervous. You know, like 12 o'clock, you know, 12 in the morning. I'm like, man, I was just nervous. Yeah. But they ain't take me to jail. And I'm talking about, I was out of this world, like, drunk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And my lady, like, I was like, I'm going to call my lady to come help get me. And she pulled up. Like, she pulled up. You don't come and get me. And they ain't take me to jail. So I went home, I'm like, this liquor, like, this is my problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is an addiction that I struggle with. So, you know, and they helped me therapy. So I send it to the streets. I send it to the world. You know what I mean? Because, you know, some teach that open confession get you healed. So I got to send it out. You know, like, I got a problem with this. I got a thing for these girls. And, you know, but I want to be healed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be a better me. Yeah. So, you know.
The song specifically resonated with me just off the strength because you were being brutally honest and open and transparent to that in that song. I was like, yo, he's being definitely like open to that. So I thought that was a really good track within itself. So, okay, another question I do have. So you're a humanitarian, you're a rapper. Now, how were you able to stop the addiction of drinking? Is it still a process? It is a work. Anything that's a habit is a work in progress. So how were you able to just be like, I'm through?
Well, I mean, it's a process. Like with liquor, you know, real one. Like, I cut it out. Like 2 years ago, I was like, man, I ain't finna drink this. Like, my birthday, you know, I took a couple shots, but I was just like my daddy died from this. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom told me, like, your dad, he had cirrhosis of the liver, which I ain't know him, but he died from this. So I was just like, you know, and it's always a struggle, you know what I mean? Like, nothing is easy. Like, nothing is easy. I don't give a fuck what you're struggling with, what you're going through. It could be sex, weed, crack, you know, sex, whatever it is that a person's struggling with. Like, addiction is hard. Drinking sodas, eating, losing weight, you know. But it was just like, it's always a battle. It's always a place that you gotta just, you know, you pray on it. You know, even if you mess up tomorrow, like, you go back and pray on it and you pick it back up. Man, I trust the process. You know, God, I trust you. You know, how they go, like, I believe I'm gonna get healed from this, but you gotta believe it in yourself first. Like you can't tell a person I'm gonna heal and I'm gonna do this. You gotta believe it in you first.
And I always say you also have to put the effort in, because faith without work is dead. Yeah. So you can't say I want to do this and then you not trying to stop doing it. So, and faith
without no work leave you stuck and broke.
That's it. That's it.
It'll leave you.
That was a lyric. That was a lyric. For real. Yeah.
Without no action, it'll leave you just messed up. You don't do nothing. You messed up.
Yep, that's a fact. That's definitely a fact. So also another thing, who do you see yourself rapping with, like in the studio, that's like a celebrity, big and known?
Well, I'm going to get my hood partners. You know.
Oh, okay. I like that.
I don't like.
I like that. Yeah.
Like, you know. I believe we created. You know what I'm saying? Like, you the author of the book.
Yeah.
So you get to write it. I mean, you got a lot of hot guys. Like I like Lil Baby. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
The Baby. I'm proud of what the Baby doing for Charlotte. You know
Yeah. That's
you know,
right. That's
the
right.
Nero like you got a lot of guys in Charlotte putting on, but I'd rather go take my hood, like the guys that I know.
That's respect.
And just cause we could create it, you know, a Chris Marquise. You know what I'm saying? Like he's one of the biggest artists, you know, unknown. But,
Okay, I'm gonna have to check him out.
Yeah, he cut like that.
I'm gonna have to check him out. That's dope. That is so dope. Okay, so where can people stream your music on?
It's everywhere. Spotify, you know, Apple Music, YouTube. It's everywhere on every music platform.
So where can people find you on any social media platforms?
You can come follow me on Facebook at Nate Deez Pope.
Okay.
Cassell.
Mhm.
On Instagram _ Deez Pope _ You know.
Okay.
And subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yes.
Deez Pope. You know what I mean? It's kind of small right now because we had to create again.
Right.
You know, but yeah, come follow them.
Yes. So y'all definitely make sure to go check him out. Again, Young Deez Pope, I really do appreciate you for joining me tonight.
Oh, it was real.
Yes,
Big
it
high
was.
five.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Real
you.
strange smoker. You gotta go get it.
Hey.
And there's other guys coming.
Yes, yes. So you guys definitely check out A Gutter Mind State, which is all on every platform. Again, and make sure that you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel at Queenie Galore. Definitely, I would love to have you. That's it.
Go get 'em. She's awesome.
Thank you.
Real talk.
Thank you. And definitely subscribe. And I definitely want your feedback. Of course, you can follow me on Instagram at Queenie Galore. And you can follow also my Facebook page at Stephanie Gaylor. Again, thank you.
Thank you.
No
it's a
problem.
pleasure.
Thank you.
It took time. We made it.
Took a lot of time, but we
We
got
made it
through
happen.
it. Thank God.
Got it.
Got it.